Welcome to Rock Solid, the Round Rock Business Leaders Podcast. Join your host, Bryan Eisenberg, as he explores the journeys of entrepreneurs and companies across Round Rock, Texas. From startups and nonprofits to large organizations, each guest shares their passion for doing business in this thriving community. Let's dive in.
Welcome to Rock Solid. I'm Bryan Eisenberg, and I'm joined today by Ennis Wright, an account executive with TikTok. Very happy to have you here today. We invited you to be here, most importantly, because you were recently at the Round Rock Chamber for our Founders Forum, and you presented about TikTok.
Yes, sir.
I found it fascinating from the back of the room, first time just listening to everybody and the questions you have, because your presentation was less presentation, more interaction. And I'm just curious, because you grew up here, what did you think of the questions? And like, you probably do this in other places. Do you get the same kinds of questions, or were they like a little bit more sophisticated? Like, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I don't know. For me, it was very inspiring because, you know, generally when we do events with like the government groups, it's not as conversational. It's more of, let me come in, let me give you a presentation. This is TikTok. If you want to learn more, reach out to me. I wanted to take a different approach of, let's be more interactive. Like, I love Round Rock. It's home for me.
Yeah.
So let's actually have that conversation where I can say, you know what, I'm going to give you an overview of TikTok, but what's more important to me is that I can answer all of y'all's questions. So to kind of go back on those questions and how they were for me, I loved them. They were so like second, third level questions. But not only that, like the curiosity of everybody, they were just so curious about how TikTok works.
Yeah.
And that's what excites me, is being able to share that knowledge, but not share it in a technical way, share it in a way that they can all understand it. And that was so special to me.
Before we go deeper, and I want to dive into some of your Round Rock background, stuff like that, there's probably a lot of people listening to this, they heard TikTok and they're like, no, it's not for me. What's the biggest misconception that most people have about TikTok, especially the business owners and stuff like that?
I'd say it's really two things. Number one, they say my audience isn't on TikTok.
Okay.
And I'll get into that a little bit.
Yep.
But number two, they say, oh, TikTok is just a dancing app. It's a dancing platform for teens.
Or memes or
memes or jokes or laughter, which it is. But when you really look at TikTok as a whole, I'm working with companies that are B2B companies. I'm working with everyday companies who like are spending millions in ads. But I'm also working with mom and pop shops or brands that were literally built up from 0 to 100. So that in itself, it inspires me to continue to share some of this creativity and knowledge, because like with that misconception comes a lot of misknowledge and misinformation. So half of my job isn't even selling TikTok, it's teaching TikTok. The other half is saying, okay, now that you understand how TikTok works, let's put together a plan where you can actually go on and be organic built, paid built, and those grow like in a parallel fashion.
Correct, because it is about that holistic view of it. It's
Exactly.
It's not one. I mean, you obviously need your organic side. And I know, like, you have a personal account. You said you went viral once.
Yes.
we can go into that later, maybe.
We can.
But for someone even like Brent, right, who you know, the owner here of Round Rock Studio, who obviously has lots of video content.
Yes.
Why should Brent be on TikTok if he's producing podcasts? He's got a photo studio in the back. Like, why would a business like his here, local in Round Rock, right by Round Rock High School, why is it important for him to be on there?
It's really the storytelling aspect. When you have, like, I was talking to him earlier in the back. This is such a beautiful space. Like,
incredible.
You have multiple spaces to podcast. You have multiple spaces to come and shoot content. Why not meet your people where they are, as opposed to a lot of your traditional brands have their website. They might be on Meta. They might be on Twitter. But like one of my favorite stats is like 60% of TikTok users have not been on Meta in the past month. So when you look at like that grand scheme of everything, you're missing your audience by not posting on TikTok organically.
I want, and I hate to interrupt you, but I'm really curious about this because, you know, one of my big passions is about the way AI is transforming search, right? Because I come from one of the very early search marketers. And, you know, I invented the term conversion rate optimization 25 plus years ago. But my curiosity comes, websites are kind of like we need them, but they're kind of disappearing. People are not engaging as much with them. Obviously, search is changing quite a bit. That search traffic is going away, but TikTok traffic just keeps surging.
Yes.
So it to me like, okay, you've got now an AI ecosystem, but probably this TikTok ecosystem is going to be just as valuable, if not more valuable, going forward.
Right.
And it's because the engagement. Right?
Yeah, and one of my favorite things to kind of touch on with that is the halo effect. So while TikTok could be your number one channel, paid and organic, I think the true potential comes from making it a halo effect channel. Meaning,
I like that.
If I post on TikTok, if I continue to post my content, I might not be seeing sales on TikTok, but what you aren't seeing, which some brands are seeing through offline measurements, is people who go from TikTok to Google to search what they just saw. Or, the phrase, TikTok made me buy it.
Yep.
I'm going on vacation in like 2 weeks, and I've already bought almost $200 worth of clothes on TikTok Shop. Just because, again, TikTok made me buy it. But whenever we go back to that earlier thought of AI, of websites, and how all of that is evolving, your website still needs to be good and a great landing page. But what you have to understand, and what I tell a lot of my brands, is you could have the best website in the world, but if nobody knows about it, is it the best website in the world? Which is why you need a platform like TikTok to say, you know what? I saw this video on TikTok. Let me go look them up on Facebook. Let me go look them up on YouTube. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go to their website and now I'm going to make a purchase. And that's like,
that's the halo effect.
Ripple.
Yeah.
That's where it all comes from. It's not just saying TikTok's going to do everything. It's saying TikTok is going to aid on your other platforms, and they all come together as one.
But Ennis, come on, TikTok is just for those young people. Come on, let's get real. Like, why is my audience going to be there?
And it's funny you say that, and I tell people this story over and over. My grandmother is a little bit over 70. She sends me TikToks.
Let's go.
And it blows my mind, but not just that. Thinking about when I first started at TikTok, I had an early client who sold like vitamins for like your older audience for, let's say, blood flow, or let's say diabetes or blood sugar. The conversion rates they were seeing, the sales they were seeing, blew my mind, because it was 50 to 75-year-olds purchasing over and over and over again. And I'm like, what are y'all doing on TikTok? It blows your mind whenever you see the older audience on TikTok, especially with me being 26. I have my mom send me TikToks at times.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, like TikTok isn't that platform it was when it first came out, which was the dancing platform.
Are there particular themes that your grandmother sends you, or is it like,
Yes.
My brother and I share a lot of food TikTok, but like I'm curious, like what does grandma send you?
It's either going to be life insurance,
okay,
something to do with credit, building your credit, keeping your credit good, or it's going to be something about politics that I've never seen, and I'm just like, oh.
It's another point of view. Yeah, okay. I'm just curious what grandma was sending you. You mentioned earlier when we were talking offline that obviously you grew up in the neighborhood. You went to a Stony Point High School,
Stony
right?
Point High School, go Tigers.
Played football there. I know Bill's got the connection there as well. And when you walked into the Round Rock Chamber to do the Founders Forum, I think that was your first time in the new
Very
Griffith
first.
building. Share a little bit about what that experience was like, because you grew up in the same building.
I don't know, man. It honestly blew my mind. Like, I'm 26
It's not the old Round Rock that you remember.
Not. And like, we'll get into that, but also like just Round Rock as a whole, right? So walking into that building, I was just like, wow, this used to be the library, and it's day and night. Like, I don't even recognize the building. And just to see the way Round Rock has built the city. I grew up off of Chandler Creek, where the whole neighborhood was grass outside of like Legends Village.
Yep.
So even seeing that get connected to Old Settlers Park on the back end, to see Kalahari come through, to see, forget all of that, to see
the Brushy Creek Trail that's right there.
The trail, the park,
Yep.
the new pavilion, the
Rab House,
the overlay. I'm just like, where was all this when I was a kid? But it goes to show, and I talk about this a lot, the way Round Rock has built out the city, it's so beautiful. And like even me, elementary, middle, and high school, as well as my older sister and my younger sister, this has truly been like an environment for us to grow. And to see it as an adult, I'm just like, y'all have all these houses, all these places to go, one of the biggest water parks. I just saw this.
No, it is the largest indoor water park in the country. Yeah.
And then they just got Golden Chick where Chicken Express used to be. That's all I need is a good Golden Chick right down the road, man.
Okay, so let's get back on the TikTok because we're not just Brent, obviously studio owner, does a lot of video, but what about your financial advisor, your roofer? Why do they need to be on there?
Yeah, so
and what do they do to get on there right?
The reality of it is a lot of these brands, when you think of like business to business or business to consumer, lead generation is a very big thing. So whether you're a roofing brand looking to get more roof installs, I've worked with a brand that does foundation fixing, which you see a lot in Round Rock since it is an older community.
Yep.
Foundation fixing, or even like your people who sell life insurance. By storytelling through creative, you're able to bring in new leads and new people to actually talk to.
So for Brent, it would be content producers. Maybe they want to up their game a little bit.
Exactly. Like even if this was my studio, I would post at least 3 times a day and just talk about all of our amenities, talk about what we have to offer.
The incredible podcasts that actually get produced here.
It's amazing. And like even his story of where he comes from, what he's done in the past.
Yeah.
People want to hear about that. And it's funny because like, whenever I started at Oracle, storytelling really wasn't as big. I started at Oracle in like the financial services cloud, very old school. You wear your slacks, your button up, all of that good stuff. About 2 years later, like going from Canva to the startup to TikTok, storytelling went from not as big of a deal to the name of the game.
Yep.
So now, like, honestly, if you can't storytell, you're going to have a hard time growing in today's time.
Now, I'm gonna kind of go off because we'll beat up on Brent. Sorry, Brent, love you. But he grew up, really doing storytelling for church media and stuff like that. For someone who doesn't have that background, do you think it would make sense for him to even have like classes here where he's helping people learn how to do that storytelling just so they can get that presence on there?
It's funny you mentioned that because, like, again, storytelling is now the name of the game, especially with AI. AI has came in and has literally told us, I can do all this for you. The only thing you need to do is storytell. So even that itself, it would be so powerful to sit business owners down who are like, yeah, our audience isn't on TikTok. We don't need a channel like that. We're good on Meta. To sit people down and say, hey, look, you have a great product. You have a great brand. You're bringing in good sales, but nobody knows your story. I'm an emotional buyer. Like, I can see some of the best stuff in the world and scroll past it. As soon as I see a story, like I just bought a NASA shirt because I've been watching Artemis from day one to now.
Oh, we need to introduce you to Dick Sanger. I don't know if you met him at the event or not. But
I didn't.
Okay, we're going to have to connect you. Yeah.
What does he do?
Well, no.
Okay,
That's for a whole.
So,
he's going to be on the episode soon, so I don't want to share everything. But he's always got his NASA shirts on.
Yes, I would love that.
Yep.
I don't know. Like, you really look at Artemis, right? In a time where the world really isn't together. Like, as much as I hate to go into it, nobody's on the same page. Everybody's bumping heads. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, black, white, Hispanic. We're missing that aspect of like the community coming together.
That's why I love these conversations. Yes.
And I really feel like Artemis was able to do that because you had black, brown, Hispanic, Latino, white. You had all of the people watching our astronauts come from space back to Earth and scared, heart beating, like, oh my gosh, I want them to make it.
Yep.
And now we look at them all as our friends. Like, I feel like that was one thing we needed with all of the
it
stuff
creates an
going on in the
emotional
world.
bond. That's what, look, I do a lot about storytelling. It's a big part of my brand, that just the narrative, and especially narrative around customers. And I say, as a business, there's three main stories you've got to get right. There's the story of the founder and why you exist as a business, what you believe in, and all of that. There's the story that's part of your culture. What does the team talk about how we serve, how we work together, how we serve the community, right? And then there's the customer story. So you've got all of these stories, and when they're fragmented, the business struggles.
Exactly.
And so, storytelling goes back for millennia. Like, the reason humans survived is because of storytelling. Like, we used to sit around the fire at the end of a day, decompress a little bit, so our nervous systems got to kind of chill out, and we'd share stories about, hey, this was great food here, avoid going there because that's where the jaguar is, right? Don't eat those berries, they're going to upset you. And so our survival depended on storytelling. And I love to see that resurgence of the importance of storytelling, and especially because it can have an impact. And I'd love for you to talk about even maybe a small business you've worked with, maybe a small local business that through storytelling has kind of transformed their business.
So let me really think about this, right? So I'm going to think back to one of the, have you guys heard of Cardiff Bank? So Cardiff Bank does small business loans. Whenever I first worked with them, one of the biggest things we kind of went over was, who are you? Like, when you look at your ideal client.
It's a bank. Banks are banks. Okay.
Exactly.
But they're not.
Exactly. It's no longer how many people can we just get to sign up for a credit or for a loan. It's now, what story are we putting out there to get them to say, you know what, I want to give this a try. And I give them so much credit because, like, in their early days before they blew up, they were really good at pretty much saying not just, oh, you're a small or medium-sized business, come get a loan. No, have you been through credit applications where they deny you, where they say you don't have enough equity? Are you a small business who's ready to scale but you don't have it available? They did such a good job at storytelling.
Of telling who their customer is so that the customer could see themselves in that story.
Exactly. It's... it's like whenever you say storytelling, a lot of people think, oh, you're just giving a story. No, you're like, I think the beauty of storytelling is if you do it right, you can pierce directly through your possible customer's mind without selling them on a thing.
Correct.
That's where I think the best storytelling comes from. Not the forced, oh yeah, this is us, this is what we do, I'm the founder, but the true, this is what I went through building this. I experienced this firsthand, and I built this company so you don't have to experience that. You're going to be like, you know what? Let's look at this website. What are these guys about?
Yeah, and it's interesting to me because I love the fact that you picked a bank because, again, boring business. When I did my my series at the Chamber, I picked a HVAC company. Why?
Yes.
Because every HVAC company does the exact same thing, right? They replace air conditioners, some of them fix air conditioners, they do ducts. Like, that's it. There's nothing remarkable about them. I mean, yes, but it was their story. This guy built $100 million brand on the story behind how he started, holding his dad's flashlight, and that was part of their logo, and they built all their identity and wrapped their trucks around that. And then his dad taught him that every single air conditioner needs to be tightened really tight. And so he came up with an innovation that he was going to use red screws.
That's special.
Red screws. Why red? Because they stand out. And this way the customers knew that they were getting tightened and changed because they saw the red screws,
Exactly.
not all the standard, silver or gold colored, screws that are typical for an HVAC.
And that's genius. It's so outside of the box.
But that's his origin story. And that became the beliefs of their customers. And when you start hearing the staff, they talk about making sure everything is tight and plumb and level. Like that, those stories became a $100 million brand in HVAC.
Exactly.
This is how a company grew, and this is before TikTok. But this is, I can imagine what they would have done with TikTok in that time, right? And then you're telling of a bank, and then I look at someone like Brent and Round Rock Studio that obviously is cooler than a bank and an HVAC company.
Right.
They're doing way more interesting things, and when they don't capitalize on a platform like TikTok today, what's their biggest mistake? What are they losing out on?
I think, going back to the start of our conversation, the biggest mistake is now you don't have a halo. And there's two things I really focus on here. I focus on either starting TikTok or not starting TikTok.
Okay.
For starting TikTok, in reality, what do you lose or what do you lose by not doing, or by, what am I trying to say? What do you lose by just posting content that you record of yourself, saying what you do and who you are? It's a low lift. A lot of people think, oh, if I'm going to get on TikTok, I need to get a production studio like this. I need to get all of these pretty cameras, pretty lights. In reality, we use the term user-generated content. It's truly UGC, user-generated content. It's me pulling out my phone and shooting a quick video saying, hey, I had a chance to check out the studio in Round Rock. I've never seen anything like it, and I've lived here 20 years. That in itself is going to resonate, as opposed to you never being on the platform. Or another thing I really love to do, right? You really want to test like some of these brands out here. You go and you search them up on TikTok.
Okay.
What happens more times than not is you find somebody, at least let's say 10 users, storytelling about the brand, who they are, why they love the brand, why they purchase the brand. But whenever I go look, they're not on TikTok. So you literally have people talking about you, talking about how great of a brand you have, really sharing their experience that they've had with your brand, and you're nowhere to capitalize on that.
And you could still be successful if you don't go viral?
Yes. Yes. It's, like back in the day when preachers would say, if I want to leave you with anything, it'd be this: you do not need to go viral on TikTok to have success. And it's funny, this guy, David Burdett, he's a comedian. We work with him through our talent agency. But I tell him all the time, like, I'd much rather you have 50 likes constantly, 100 likes constantly, than have one video with 350K likes, 1 million comments. You went viral, cool, one day. Your next video, you don't have 10 likes. What good does that do you?
Now, there are probably some business owners who, maybe they're doing stuff on Meta, right? And they're on Instagram, they may be on LinkedIn. They still haven't dabbled here. And I kind of use this as an example. I'm sure you've seen those videos, and because what I find a lot in TikTok are videos of food places around and interesting recipes. So you'll see a lot of that. My closet foodie there. And my son was recently recorded. He does the farmer's market. He works in a booth. And I'm sure you've seen the videos of the guy who goes around and he only buys from people who don't have customers. And he approached my son, who was in the booth, and he posted on Instagram. Also had it on TikTok, and he had, over 700,000 views.
Wow.
Okay, and here's my son, 16 years old, selling babka like you've never had a babka in your life. Why is it so important? Like, and to make sure you're on the different platforms, because yes, you're investing your time there, but what if I don't have the time to manage all of these? Like, how do I justify TikTok over the other platforms?
Yeah, so I would say number one, in like looking back to the example of your son, the true purpose of TikTok, and this is kind of where I have fights with myself internally. As much as I want you to spend money on TikTok, because I'm a salesman, that's my job. As much as I want you to do that, I really make it clear to my clients that I want you to understand TikTok. Because TikTok doesn't just give you a platform to sell and make money. It also enables other people to be creative, to be authentic, and to connect. So giving your son the chance to do that's special to me, because now your son has just unlocked a brand that nobody really is going to, as you see at the farmer's market. And now you see everybody, like, forget just the farmer's market. This is where that halo effect comes in. Let's say they say, you know what, we went viral, all of a sudden we're getting a bunch of customers. Now we're not just going to do exclusively a farmer's market, which a lot of them do. Now we're going to get a website on Shopify.
They have the website, and they sell nationally, and then people are all over the place, and it definitely produced a spike. One of the other things some people are kind of shy about being on video, but maybe they need some help. And I know, you talked about the talent side of this. So, maybe, you don't want to be that creative talent, but there's a way that you can tap into others who are creative.
Yeah.
So, can you share a little bit about that?
So, real quickly, and this kind of touches on the question you asked earlier in terms of, okay, we're on Meta, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Reddit. You want us to add another channel? That's a lot of work. So there's two aspects of it. TikTok is you can do everything on your own easily. We have actually made a lot of unlocks to connect these brands directly with creators. One program I talk about specifically is TikTok One. TikTok One has two things. Okay. It has a creator marketplace, and it has creative content that is fully funded by TikTok, and the only thing you pay for is ad spend. So whenever you think of the creator marketplace, we give you a marketplace of creators that we have vetted, and you work directly in that marketplace to pick, choose, pay, and have them post on TikTok for you.
So it's like Brent could find a bunch of people who are creators about creating content.
Exactly.
And if they're in the area, they could shoot stuff about being studio and stuff like that. Okay.
And the cool thing about our creators is they already have the following.
Yep.
So what happens is you do what we call a spark ad, where you put your brand, your logo, your image behind their creatives, and then you push it out to everybody. It's truly special because what we have found, like I've been at TikTok a year and a half, and quick side note, TikTok is one of the top 5 fastest growing companies in the world ever.
Okay.
And one thing that surprises me is when it comes to change management and changes. If you find a problem, a bottleneck, and you're able to offer a solution, that bottleneck could be fixed in 4 weeks or less, as opposed to an Oracle where you've got about 2 quarters before that actually gets fixed.
Yeah.
But even taking that a step further, one of the biggest things we like to do and we like to say is to empower people. So, or what you say, enrich life. So whenever you look at it from a media standpoint, we either connect you with media agencies, with creators, or if you're willing to spend on ads, you get somebody like me as an account executive to kick you off, and then you get an account manager to help you grow. So there is a lot of opportunity. I can't stress this enough. My best advice to brands, though, is just to take a step back and understand what it is you're looking to go after, what your goals are, and then make your creatives connect to your goals, and then everything else we can pretty much do.
I get a lot of ads as well as organic for a couple of friends of mine who own a little sports shop in New Jersey. Shout out to Roy and Max. They took very good care of my son growing up playing baseball. I'm not going to name them right now. But not only do I see all their organic content, and they've been making content for years, and they're great, and they have great online presence. Also, back to an old friend of mine, Rob. But I smile every single time I see another creator with the TikTok shop link to close out bets.
Yes.
Okay, which I'll shout them out.
Yes.
Okay, but I see it and I'm like, that's awesome. It's like I know that's having ripple effects for them. And that's for any local business, right?
Yes.
Any local business could take advantage of it.
So two, and I don't mean to cut you off, but two things you want to focus on, right? And this is something I didn't really touch on earlier, but understanding if TikTok is for you in this moment. So for example, 2 things we focus on: open loop, where they discover on TikTok, they purchase on the website; closed loop, where they discover on TikTok, they purchase on TikTok.
Okay.
Every single brand is kicking doors down right now to get on TikTok shop and become closed loop, because what happens is you have a much higher conversion rate when you don't have to leave the app.
Correct.
Of course.
One click. That's what it is. It's just one click. Yep.
Now, the problem, and where I encourage all of my brands to really think about what you want to do, TikTok Shop is truly an affiliate marketing platform. If you don't have 50 pieces of content or product you can give out a month, TikTok Shop might not be for you. And one of the biggest things I tell my clients is I say, hey, I'm going to teach you about TikTok, open loop, closed loop. I'm going to give you recommended budgets. But what I want y'all to truly understand is if this is a platform for you in this moment, if not, post organically and continue building everywhere else. If this is a platform for you, are you willing to do the investment? Are you willing to go through the learning process of what does good creative look like for you? Mm-hmm. Good creative for me might not be good creative for you. And understanding that, so like your first 30 days, let's say you spend $10K on ads, you might not see an immediate ROI, but what you will have is data you could then go back on and say, hey, based on the click-through rate of this creative, nobody stayed past the first 2 seconds. So we have all of these videos that we think, oh, they're just going to do these great sales, and people are on TikTok going just like this.
Yep.
So that's like using data and then understanding where you fit in this big puzzle of social media, especially with AI. Now you have AI media. We use 2 phrases. You have UGC, which is user generated, and then you have AI generated content, which is coming up.
Yeah.
So you can get lost in the weeds fairly quickly. And that's why I always encourage my brands, if you do want to get started on TikTok, find somebody who works at TikTok just to hear what the heck this platform is, because it's not just a dancing platform anymore.
Well, and that's why we appreciate you, obviously, doing the Founders Forum at the Chamber and then coming here to share. And so, if someone like Brent wants to, get started with this, what's your first piece of advice to him to in order to start the process and start growing it out? Because, obviously TikTok is a global platform, right? And, there's a US-based app now too. But what if I only want to focus in on people who are in my area? Like, how do we make sure they see it versus the globe? Exactly.
So, for example, I go to High Fades, or I forgot the name of it, but it's in Pflugerville. Mm-hmm. This guy's been cutting my hair since high school. But he finally opened his own shop. And one of the biggest things I've been teaching him is, hey.
Oh, I get to see those barber videos.
Yes.
Those show up. Yes, those are cool. Yeah.
He's really good, man. But I can't stress this enough. Using, let's say, zip codes, captions, hashtags.
Okay.
My video that went viral, if y'all look up my name, y'all can see it.
Yeah.
Pretty much I had a video go viral because an apartment complex towed my car improperly. I pretty much had said Pflugerville, Texas, put a hashtag, put a location, and my video blew up. I had people commenting under there, did we go to elementary school together? And I'm just like, what the heck? I haven't seen you in years. I really forgot you existed. And you're like, hey, did we go to elementary school together? And I'm just like, the power of social media.
That algorithm is special.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
So if someone here wants to tap in more and maybe get started, they're still maybe a little concerned about how to do it. What's the best way that maybe they can get in touch with you and you can answer some questions and kind of ease them along? And obviously, I'm sure they can find you on TikTok.
Yes.
But where else could they find you?
You can find me on TikTok, on LinkedIn. I'm very, very active on LinkedIn.
Yes, you are.
Y'all see me all the time.
Yep.
Now, this quarter has been very, very busy. Mm-hmm. Like with a lot of changes comes a lot of process changes. A lot comes with changes. Mm-hmm. It's cool, though. Like, y'all have seen the announcement. TikTok is now a U.S. company.
Yep.
So all of that stuff, all of the this, that, the third, we're a U.S. company now. We have a U.S. board of directors. That can no longer be an excuse. But if you want to reach out to me on LinkedIn, any of my team members on LinkedIn, we're all on the new business team at TikTok. Really special team right now. All of my coworkers are so sweet, so smart, so knowledgeable. Just reach out, and we're like happy to help.
Even if they're not ready to spend money yet, they just want to get started. You're happy to help.
Reach out to me. My teammates probably not so much. We have goals. We have KPIs at the end of the day.
But you want to support hometown.
Yes, this is home for me. So as busy as I am, I try to find spaces in my. Like I also was for Round Rock ISD, I did a volunteer teaching.
Okay.
Or not volunteer. What is it called? I was pretty much a substitute teacher. Did a little bit at Stony Point, went to Hopewell, Hernandez. Mm-hmm. It was bittersweet for me because this is truly home. Like, yes, I live in Pflugerville now. I'm out in Austin. Driving through Round Rock Donuts, Round Rock everything. This is home for me. Like, and I mean that. I grew up around all of this. I got to experience it. Everything in Round Rock has molded me into who I am now. And like, I appreciate it so much.
Well, we appreciate you and the time you spent with us today.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir.